Hi, I'm Jeff. I'd like to talk to you a little bit about the differences between a wall-mounted faucet and a backsplash faucet. This information would apply to faucets and pre-rinse units. Wall-mount faucets have eccentrics. Eccentrics are the hardware package where it is adjustable from 8.5 inches to 7.5 inches because the plumber, when he's stubbing out into a wall, can never get those pipes exactly 8 inches on center, so there has to be some adjustability. In a backsplash mounted faucet, the hardware package looks similar to this, where it's not an eccentric, it's not adjustable. They come out exactly 8 inches on center because the holes in the backsplash of a stainless steel sink are always computerized punched. They're always exactly 8 inches on center. So you don't need the adjustability. But when you talk Fisher backsplash faucets, what you get is you get the male nipple where the lock nut and the washer goes on so that you can attach the faucet to the stainless steel backsplash. It's the correct hardware package for mounting a faucet on a stainless steel backsplash. Whether you have a wall-mounted or a backsplash faucet, the actual back of the faucets look identical. The only thing different is the hardware package that comes with either a wall mount or a backsplash. Okay, so let's take a look at the wall mount faucet and how you actually install a wall mount faucet onto a wall. The trim ring, the flange, what we call the flange, screws onto one half of the eccentric. You put that on both. And screw them all the way down. And then you go to your wall and simply screw the eccentric onto the nipple assembly or the pipe sticking out of the wall. Screw both of them on. And you'd always want to use plumbing tape or plumbing putty to seal the threads. So with these eccentrics on, you can see that if you turn them one way or the other, they will actually go from about 7.5 inches all the way out to 8.5 inches. So with the eccentrics installed, the next thing we want to do is we want to install the 2 washers that come with it. No plumbing tape, no pipe sealant is required. You simply install the washers into the recessed area of the concentric, and then grab the body out of the faucet box, screw it on, and you notice that I've got this side screwed on, but this one doesn't line up. So all I really have to do is just bring this around until it lines up to be exactly 8 inches on center. If it screws all the way onto the eccentrics, you know you've done it right. Now what you want to do is you want to make sure that it is level. And then the last thing we do is bring the flange back all the way up against the wall, tighten it up, and we use a wrench, tighten up these nuts, and we've just installed the faucet on the wall. So what we want to do now is installing a swing spout faucet. What you do is that each faucet, it contains a little tube of lubrication, and what you do is you put the lubrication all over the O-rings. And this helps not only just slide the spout into the faucet body, but it also lubricates the O-rings and makes the swing spout apply or swing very easily. Line it up, straight up and down, pops right in, and then you tighten down the spout nut. Check to make sure the valves work smoothly, and they do. A perfect wall-mounted application. Okay, now we're going to install the backsplash hardware package to the Fisher faucet. It's always easier to install the faucet if you have the swing spout off. So we'll put that on later. So what we're going to do is install the washers into the concentrics. Install those onto the faucet body. Just screw them in nice and snug. Wanting to make sure that these washers stay onto the concentric and they don't drop out. And you can see that because they thread all the way in, so we know that they're secure. Then what we're going to do is put the flange onto the concentric, and we're going to want to screw those all the way down for installation. Later, what we'll do is we'll back those off and tighten them against the front of the stainless steel backsplash. But for right now, we'll just screw them all the way down. Now what we'll do is we'll take this faucet over and see if it fits in the holes. And it fits. Okay, so now from the rear of the sink, installing the washer and the lock nut onto the backsplash hardware. Naturally, in the real world, if we're really installing this, we would be using a wrench and really tightening this nut down tight. Now, using the optional elbow, you would put plumbing tape, Teflon tape, around the threads, and then screwing the elbow on to the nipple and tightening it up until it's very tight. And then now this is where the water supply line goes in. Now you could run copper or it could be a supply line. But you'll notice that, and you'll notice by using the Fisher elbow, that when this sink is up against the wall, using this rule to illustrate the wall, what you've got is the elbow not interfering with the wall. So now the sink can fit up flush against the wall with no problem whatsoever.
Okay, now that we're done behind the sink, the next thing we want to do is tighten down these flanges. And they just tighten down against the stainless steel. Use a wrench, tighten them down very tight, and this secures the faucet to the backsplash. Next step is installing the swing spout. Inside the faucet packaging, you'll find a little